Hi YouTube, Engineer Boy 100 here. Sorry I've been away for a while, but haven't been having any car trouble. So guess what? I've been hearing bearing noise. So today we're going to pop off this wheel and change the bearing. Okay, so here's a quick overview before we start. Of course, we're going to use our Ingersoll wrench here, 20 volt, to take off the hub and the tires and rim, and then this little guy here. This little guy is what you use to take that last piece of bearing off of the hub. Instead of having to cut it, see some people cut it. These are not that expensive. This is a lifesaver. Okay, and then we're going to actually press the bearing itself out with the special bearing installation and removal tool. It removes and installs. In fact, I think I have another tool that I forgot to bring out. I'll get that real quick. And using those tools is just so much easier. All right, so let's get to work. All right, so step one is take off the tire. So let's get that done. Next, we have to take off the caliper. And those who have seen my videos before know that every time I take off a caliper, I like to hang it with a trusty bungee cord. So let's get that done. So now we're going to take the two bolts loose that mount the caliper. And I just use a hammer. You probably can't see it, but here's the hammer. And I just tap gently on the wrench to loosen up the bolt. Much easier than knuckle busting. Okay. This is how I break those bolts loose. Just tap like that. Much easier than cranking hard on it. And then when it breaks loose, you crack your knuckles. And this is what it looks like from the front side when we do the top bolt. Makes it very easy to take the caliper off. Now that we have the bolts out on the caliper, we can just take it off and hang it from the bungee cord, like that, out of the way. Take off this disc, put it aside, close by. Now we only have 4 things left to take a loose. I'll show you what they are. Okay, so to get the hub off, to press the old bearing out and press the new bearing in, you have to remove 4 parts. The first part is the lower ball joint, and that is right here. Right here. This little guy right here. There's 2 bolts, okay, on the bottom. Actually, there's 3. 2 nuts and a bolt. 1, 2, 3. You have to take those loose to take the ball joint off. And the second of the 4 that you have to take off is the strut. You have a nut and a bolt here. You have to take these loose. Number 3 is your control arm for your steering, your ball joint. Tie rod in. And of course, finally, but not least, your big center nut on your half shaft. So let's get those done. Okay, I want to let you guys hear this old bearing so you can see why I'm changing it. Bearing should see how this sounds. Just let it sound like that. It should be very smooth and very quiet. It shouldn't spin freely, but this one has spun all of its grease out. So that's why it's rough and stiff like that. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and tap out this center hub. So I put this on these little blocks here just to hold it up off the table a little bit. And I'm going to use this because it's about the same size. I'll show you. It's about the same size as this centerpiece here. Put it in here so you can see. This little centerpiece here is about the same size as that, so we can go right straight through and knock that out. So this makes it has these little blocks of metal, and it helps to just hold it up for you. And then you can tap on it. You don't have to hit it real hard. Just tap a little bit, just like so. You don't have to go nuts. Just pop it a little bit like so, and voila, you get your the center part of the bearing out. Get this bag out the same way. Now, just get that out. Yes, a lot of missing oil in there. Put that back, just keep it. So now I have my hub off. And to get this, some people cut this to get it off. They want to cut it and no. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little tool right here, which is made for this. Let me stack it up and I'll show you. But this will pull this off. You stack up, I have a little tool. Heck, why don't we just do it now? Why don't we just do it now? Huh? See this little guy here? I have a bunch of little adapters and stuff, but it fits on here perfectly. Little fits on here, and my tool will go down. Sometimes if it's too close, like it looks like it might be too close, you have to hit it a little bit and get it to move so you have enough space to get the edge. See this little edge of the tool to get that in the groove to pull it out. And then you just put your little block up here and you put this on here and you just crank it off and it comes right off. So I'm gonna make some space. I'm not gonna let you watch that. I'll make some space, then I'll come back and I'll let you watch me pull that off. So to make the little space, I wiped it off first, right? And look at this. You can actually see the scouring on here and the damage on the race here. Here's a real bad one coming around. Let me get this thing to focus right there. And you can see where the bearing really just wore the race out. It's really bad. So okay, so I'm gonna go and make some space so we can pull this off. That was cool. Talking about just-in-time delivery. Nice. I think this is the one that they're in too. It feels like about bearing weight and size. Let's see if I can use a screwdriver. I can't reach my knife. Look at that. I don't need a knife. Who needs a knife? So we got packaging, inside of packaging. Let's see here. Come on. What do we got in here? People want to know. We want to see. What's in there? A box. Nice. Oh, look at that. This is a nice box too. Where's the little place where you open it? A little place. Come on. Oh no, we're gonna need the screwdriver again. Choose the other one. Look at that. Nice. All right, more packaging. Oh no, are you kidding me? They did not want this to, look at that. Oh, you wouldn't believe it unless I showed you. More packaging. Dude, really? Bearings are gonna get damaged that easy? All right, so let's do a little ripping here. Ha! Finally! Looky here. Wheel bearings. Pretty. Yeah. More packaging. Just kidding. So, I will take these little guys and put them in the freezer until we're ready for them. Look at that. Shiny. Okay, so I got about maybe a millimeter space in there. I just hit it with a chisel until I got enough space to get my tool in there. The way you're supposed to do it is you're not supposed to press it on that far, but that was my mistake last time. So I just want to let you see how you put the tool on. So you get these two little, and that thing's coming off, probably an O-ring to hold that in. Anywho, you put this right on top of this little solid disc I have here that is almost the same diameter as the center of the hub. And then you put these two ends under the lip of the race that you want to remove. You kind of try to adjust it up nice and square so that you get a good bite on that race, and then snug it up by hand. And I have a little ratcheting box end wrench here, so open end box end 17 millimeter. So hold it, and then now you may see in the background I put a little bit of Corolla on here so that once it starts to slide it's a little easier to break loose. And then I just turn like so. I get my little ratcheting wrench to stay, and it just comes up. You can see it coming up. This is a cheap wrench here. It keeps popping out of ratchet. Maybe I should get a real ratchet and a socket and do this, because it sucks. I need to oil it. So anyway, it's working, and this will just pull this race right off here for you. And it should get a little bit easier as you go up. And it hits that penetrating oil on the surface. And take it right off, and you can reuse your hub. And it takes it over. Let me back it off, make sure that thing is centered. In fact, you can actually, I think I'm going to turn it over because it's thinner on the other side. So, yeah, see, I got it stuck. That's not good. Alright, well, I'll have to tap it out through the back. All the little details. So, yeah, I got my little thing plug stuck. How tight is it? Yeah, and it was too tight. So let's try it again. Let's turn this over because it's thinner on one side, so I'll put it on like that, and it actually has some leeway. And line it up again. Let's get underneath that lip. Try and get it squared up so we're pulling straight. And now I'll get my little cheap ratchet and try it again. And off we go. And everything's working this time. Beautiful. Even my tool. And there it is. We got the little race off. And I got the end of my tool off. My plug. And here's the damaged race. Next, we will take out the seals on either side of the bearing. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and pry these seals out. So I did the back side first. This is the one that goes up against your half shaft and seals, and I think this is the main one that, for some reason, the grease was leaking out from here because it was all over everything when I took the hub off. I might have to just tap it from the other side, so we can do like so. And wish I got a smaller hammer, and just kind of hit on the metal part and tap it out. I think it almost already came out. Tap it like so. And cue music. And it just kind of pops it out. Yeah, and I'm not going to reuse it. It doesn't look damaged. It's a little dry, a little old, so we will not be reusing that. Let's see what it looks like in here. Ooh, oh, that's not good. That's just the ring. There's a snap ring in here you have to take out. So because you're not going to get the bearing out while that's in there. So it's hard to see right now, but there is a snap ring right here. I'll try to move some of that oil, and see, can you see it? There's a snap ring. So you got to take that snap ring out, and we will do that after we take out the other oil seal. We need to pop it out from the other side, like we did the other one. Just gonna get on the lip of it. Let's see. Oh, hammer works good. Look at that. Okay. I'm not Thor. I don't have the hammer fist. Where'd that one goes? Over here. All right. So there we go. The big one goes on the inside, and the small one goes on the outside. So now we press out the bearing. After we do the clip, let's do the ring clip. Let's do the ring clip, so we don't forget or anything like that. So let me get the right tool for that, so we can do it correctly. All right, I got my ring clip pliers here. Little cheap tool from Harbor Freight. Well, guess what? The reason I'm using these is because my nice power belt set broke after 3 uses. So I'm going up there to get another pair later because they're under warranty. But it never hurts to have a nice cheap pair of Harbor Freight backups. Alright guys, so I went to the store and they let me trade my broken ring clip pliers for this cheaper set until I can order some really good ones online. So I'm going to open this up and see if I can't get that ring out. So let's go. Let's try this one, see what happens. Wait. Okay, I don't want to pop all over the place. That's good enough for government work. I'm going to go ahead and take this as a yes. And hopefully it won't go popping across the garage. Perfect. Now it's showtime. There's the ring. Showtime. All right. All right. So now that we got that snap ring out, this is the side that the bearing comes out of. Okay. So you use these tools like this, and you pull the bearing out with a screw. You put the screw through like this, you know, like that, and you pull it out. But nobody can see what's going on. You can't see the bearing come out. It kind of sucks. So guess what I did? For my viewers, I want my viewers to be able to view. So I made a custom, clear, see-through polycarbonate, very tough plastic tube. So you can see. And here it is. I will let you see it. It is beautiful. And it is very strong. Now don't confuse polycarbonate with acrylic. They are not the same. They are not the same chemical composition. They are not the same strength. Now, granted, we are pushing on in, and an acrylic will probably be strong enough, especially if you use 1/4 inch wall thickness. But this is 1/8 inch wall thickness, polycarbonate, and it's going to be just fine, I hope. Now, that said, okay, do not, I am telling you, do not do this. I'm only doing it so that you can see it on the video. I have eye protection, I have long sleeves on, I have double shirt on, long pants, you know, I'm being careful, and if it breaks on me, it breaks. But I'm not recommending that anybody do this. I'm telling you, don't do this. This is just for me to show, all right? So that, with that disclaimer, see, it's going to go just like that, and the bearing is going to come out and hopefully go in to this clear tube here. It should. I'm looking at it and it should fit perfectly. So I'll get it set up in the vise here, and we'll reposition the camera, and we'll put the screw through like that, and we'll pull the bearing out. So that'll be next. All right, so I'm gonna let you see how I got it set up here. I got this long 32mm wrench on the back. When I turn it, it's gonna go down and touch the table, and it's gonna hold it for me. All right, and then I have the right size pushing plate. It's one of these. Okay, you have to get the different sizes and put the right size in there. And I'm using, I don't know what size it is, size number 2. I think it's like 3 inches. All right, so then we come around the other side, and here is my polycarbonate. Screw is going through. I have a 32mm socket, and I'm going to turn that with a ratchet, so you'll know what you're looking at. So now I'm going to put you on the tripod here, and we're just going to start. All right, so make sure that we have this going the right way, and we're going to just turn. And from here on out, we should be able to see that bearing come right into this polycarbonate tube. So, here it comes. That was easy. You have to check how your wrench is doing. You might have to move it out a bit so it doesn't touch the hub. So I'm going to reposition this like so. You have to just keep an eye on everything as you're working. And then here we go again. And just let it pull everything into the tube. Oh man, now my vise is not holding. Perfect, right on. Everything here could go wrong. It's going wrong. Nice. See, am I still on camera here? Yeah. Should be pulling. And that's why, this is why you don't use, like, people say, oh, why don't you use your Ingersoll wrench, your strong impact wrench? You have a powerful. No, you want to maintain control of what's going on with these things. So you don't want to use power tools for the most part. I mean, some of you pros get it set up, professionally, fine. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but for my use, I'm going to always do these by hand so that I can actually control when something goes wrong or slips or breaks or whatever. Uh-oh. See, I think the polycarbonate is breaking. Something's not. All right, so that's the end of that. I'm probably going to have to go ahead and use my my metal ones. But at least you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like when it comes out. All right, I set it up again with another tube. The other one wasn't seated quite straight, and this is actually acrylic. So I'm fully expecting this to break as well, but I want to try it because I got a more flush fit, and it might work, and it might not. But I'm going to get extra eye protection because I don't want anything popping into my eyes if it shatters. And I'm closing my eyes too, so I'm not even watching it, just listening. And I don't think it's gonna go. This is just not strong enough. It's not made for this. So I'm gonna stop. And sorry you didn't get to see the other side of the bearing come out. I'm gonna have to use the metal cup that's made for doing this, and you'll have to see it when it's out. All right, well, here's the metal cup. This is the way it's supposed to be done. Anyway, I don't know how much excitement there's gonna be because you can't see what's going on. This is getting ready to kick that off of here. Hopefully it can hold. No, it's not holding. Okay. Always something. Always something. So, all right, got to reset. Try it again. Something's wrong. All right, guys. All that preaching I did about not using power tools, Please don't hate me. But here it's coming very nicely. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use this opportunity since I'm using the metal cup, and I'm going to show you that it's coming very nicely. See there? This is the bearing sliding out, was way in here. So there it is. So I'm going to line it up and finish. I just wanted to check to make sure it wasn't jammed or breaking something. So I'm sorry that I'm a hypocrite, but here goes nothing. I was tired of trying to do it by hand because it wasn't coming easily. And yeah, these things are tough. And don't use polycarbonate or acrylic because that don't work. At least that was 1/8 inch wall I was using. 1/4 inch might work, but I don't think it can stand up to what I'm putting on it right now with this impact. There's just no way in the world it's gonna hold up. So don't do it. Just please don't do it, especially if you're gonna try and come back and sue me after you hurt yourself, because that's probably what would happen. You would probably end up hurting yourself. I should probably just edit all that out. So there it goes. Here's the inner race. Okay. And let's see if I can show you. Switch my screen around so I can see what I'm doing. So here it is. So now it's time to press in the new bearing, which is right here. There's always one in the freezer, so I don't know which one I'm going to use, but it don't matter really. Freezing them don't help that much. So let's get set up and clean it up inside here, and get ready to press in the new bearing. Yay! Alright, so I got the new bearing started. I just tapped it a little bit with the hammer, and you'll notice that the disc that I selected to push the bearing in is a little bit smaller than the bearing. You want that so that the bearing will go in and your disc won't interfere or get stuck in there because it's too big. You want a little bit smaller than the bearing so that you have clearance, so you can push the bearing all the way in past the point where you have to put that clip ring. You have to remember that. Okay, so I'm going to use the impact again. Sorry. I'm going to use the impact. So I'm going to put you guys up here on the tripod, and then I'm going to go ahead and use the machine like I said you shouldn't. Sorry, I know everything's lined up. Knock on wood. So here we go. So I'm just going to pull it in with nice and easy. I'm going to bump it in like little. So I'm pretty sure that's seated. I can take it loose and then check. I can check the space to see if the little clip ring will fit. And if the ring will fit, then we're in good enough. And it's not quite in enough. Well, you want to see that? You guys want to see that? Since we're seeing everything today, let's go in there and take a peek. The little groove right here where that snap ring is supposed to go is not clear. So I do need to push that in a little bit more. Alright, so we're going to do that right now. Set it up. And I'm going to let you watch me set it up. Hope I don't block you too much here. Block the view. I'll try to work from this side. You just get your cup and you put it in this way, so you have something to push up against. A lot of people don't know how to set these up, so just let you see everything. And then I just have a washer. Got my plate here and a washer. And this plate is smaller. Is that the right one? I don't think that's the right one. Is that the one I just took off? I think it is. Yeah, that's the right one. Smaller than the bearing, okay? Then you put your washer on so that your nut has something to spin on, so it doesn't just grind on your tool. And I'm gonna turn this on like so. And I want to get everything lined up nice so we have a nice straight hole. And I'm just going to bump it a few times to get enough space for that snap ring. And also, you can listen to your impact. When it starts to bottom out, it'll put a load on your impact and you can hear it. All right, so now my impact loaded up a bit and I know that it bottomed out on the other side. So now there should be room for the snap ring, and there is. Ta-da! And here's the snap ring, and that should be able to fit in there. Let me see if it just fits. I'll do it later. Yeah, plenty of room. Okay, so I got the hub back on. Sorry I didn't let you watch, but I am going to show you how I did it. So if you look around the other side, and you see the bearing here, you want the inside portion to touch the support. This inside portion to support the support plate. You don't want to put this part in because it'll obstruct the hub when it's coming through the bearing race. You want to turn around this way, not this way, not this way. Okay, you want to run like this, and I'll have it so it fits in there and it supports this middle section, because all you're doing is sandwiching the whole thing. So you're going to have one on that side, and then on the other side you're going to have another one just like this, and this one doesn't matter, and this is going to push on the hub itself, okay, and the other one is going to support the center of the bearing so you don't damage it. And then you just put your screw through with your washers and your nut on this side and pull it in. Now you want to leave about a quarter of an inch on this particular vehicle, a quarter of an inch, I don't know if you can see in there, but a quarter of an inch space so that when you go to take it off next time you don't have to tap and stuff like I had to get it started to pull that race off of the hub to change the bearing again. And that's it. Then everything else is just I want to go and get a new seal for this. I don't have it yet. I'm going to go to the store and get a new seal. Just tap the seal in gently, and then we're just going to put this whole assembly back on the car. And that is how you change a bearing, a front bearing on a 1994 Toyota Corolla. All right, the hub is all assembled, and I'm going to go over the 4 pieces you have to reconnect, not including the brake caliper, just the part for the hub. And so you can have an overview of what I'm doing when I put you on the tripod. So down we go. First you can come to will be this bracket here, which goes straight up. It connects to the strut. Okay, and there's 2 bolts and a nut right there that hold that. Okay, then if you go all the way to the middle, of course, right inside here goes the half shaft splines. Okay, and then we hold that on with a nut, a regular nut, and cotter pin. All right, then we have the ball joint on the bottom here. You can see these 3 holes take these 2 nuts and this 1 bolt, and the 2 studs here on the ball joint take these nuts. Okay, so this will go up and onto there, up and onto this control arm here. And last but not least, the tie rod end. I think I called it end link last time on accident. It's not an end link. This is the end link. Okay, this right here is the end link. This is your steering tie rod end and ball joint right here. Okay, so that takes this castle nut and then a cotter pin to secure that. So that's what I'll be doing before I put on the brake disc and the brake caliper. All right, so now I'm going to put you on tripod.